Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. Today I've got a special treat for you. Now, as you know, I recently did a series of videos where I was showing off my collection of Marvel calendars. I showed the 1975, 76, 77, 78, 79, and 80 Marvel calendars. There's also one from 1981, which I do own, and that's not what I'm showing you today because, as I've mentioned before, it fell off the wall behind my gigantic, incredibly heavy roll top desk, and I don't have any way to get to it. It's not the only calendar that fell off the wall behind there because DC also put out two calendars in the 70s. I have both of those as well. One of them is somewhere behind my desk, but the other one I have in front of me here. Now, in general, I don't think that the DC calendars are quite as exciting as the Marvel calendars, but I will say that of the two, the one that I'm going to show you today is definitely the better of the two art-wise. So, hopefully you'll enjoy this. It's the 1977 Super DC calendar. Now, it does have a pretty cool cover. And that cover is by Neil Adams and Dick Giordano. And it's got some heroes fighting a group of supervillains. It looks very Super Friends to me in terms of the matchups here. There's a back cover, which has a whole bunch of word balloons, more people fighting. This has got the Legion of Superheroes on the back fighting. But it's basically just a bunch of text trying to get you to buy the calendar. It's also got, this has art from a bunch of cool people, and I'm studying it because there was one artist inside who I didn't recognize the signature. So you're gonna have to help me with that. And even reading this, I'm still not quite sure who it's by. But let's find out together. We start off in January, and it is Wonder Woman fighting Cheetah. And this is by Jose Delbo. And it's pretty cool, actually. You know, I just looked through this for the first time in quite a while before I started the video. And I've got to say, the art in this is actually a lot better than I remember. I think what I was thinking of is the other calendar where it's kind of boring. But this is definitely much more like, I feel like they stepped up their game here. Or either that or the other calendar stepped down their game. I forget. I think the other calendar might have come out after this. But this is pretty cool. I'm not, Jose Delbo is not my favorite artist, but it is cool. You see also a cool thing here is we've got the ball dropping in Times Square for 1977. So you're ringing in the new year in style with Wonder Woman and Cheetah. Then for February, it's Ernie Chan and Frank Giacoia, which is an unusual team, I think. And it's Batman and Robin fighting the Joker, and the Joker is carving his face into Mount Rushmore. I don't know if this is based on a story or not. If it is, it's not what I'm familiar with, but I'm not a big Batman guy, so I don't know. There's actually like a text thing here. I'll read this to you. Add a bizarre sense of humor to a totally evil personality and an undying hatred for the Batman. And what have you got? Why? The Joker, of course. And he's here on South Dakota's famed Mount Rushmore. He's erected a monument to his insanity. Then lured Batman and Robin to the scene so he can kill them at the site of his greatest triumph. But the madman of menace has blown it again. He constructed his eternal monument out of defective cement. Well, with the first rainfall, Batman will have the last laugh. Okay. Sure. It's also got like a bit of a rose gallery down here. So it's cool. It's cool. And the calendar itself has panels from like Golden Age stories with little trivia blurbs about them. So that's cool too. Okay, March. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Interesting. I've never seen him draw this character before. It's Green Lantern fighting Sinestro by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who's one of the greats. Legitimately one of the greats. I see a woman hanging off the thing here. Is that Carol Ferris? Yep, it sure is. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. It slouches defiantly, denying time, nature, gravity itself. But now it sways perilously as shockwaves from Sinestro's yellow beam ricochet off its ancient walls, the deadly golden rays seeking their true victim, Green Lantern of Earth. The bravest of a corps of dedicated intergalactic crime fighters, Hal Jordan faces the crimson-visaged renegade in a duel to the death for the life of Carol Ferris, Hal's fiancée. I'm sensing a theme here, a sub-theme, which is, I think these are all going to take place at different world monuments. Check it out. It's April, and it is weird. It's Ramona Fraden, and she's drawing Plastic Man and Woozy Winks. Now, the person they're fighting looks a lot like Robot Man, but according to this, which I'm not going to read, it's someone called the Snuffer. But it does look like Robot Man, does it not? And as I expected, he's destroying the Eiffel Tower. And then we get some more rogues galleries. Plastic Man's villains apparently are Forklift, Carrot Man, the Molder, and Dr. Dome. Not Dr. Doom, Dr. Dome. I don't know anything about Plastic Man, I have to admit. Okay, next up we get Superman fighting Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is blowing up the Washington Monument. This is by Kurt Swan with inks by Bob Oxner. I also have to say that so far, our heroes are not doing that well. This is the fourth one we've looked at, and in two of them, the last two, the monument, the world-famous monument that they're there to protect, it has already been destroyed. So the Eiffel Tower in the last one had been melted and was collapsing. Lex Luthor may be getting punched in the face, but he also just destroyed the top of the Washington Monument. Art's very cool, though. I like Kurt Swan quite a bit. Take a wild guess who the villains are that are featured for Superman. It's not Lex because he's in the main image. Brainiac? Okay, you probably got that one. Mr. Mxyzptlk, that's how I pronounce it. I don't care if it's right. You may have gotten that one. But did you guess that the other two villains that they have listed here are Prankster and Amalak? Okay. Let's see. This is a real stretch, but Jim Aparo drawing the Aquaman family, and you can barely tell, but this is them supposed to be going over Niagara Falls. You can see that Aqualad is tied to a barrel, and here's Mira is projecting an energy fishhook or something out of her hand. I don't know. I don't really know what the Aquaman people were getting up to in the 70s either. But you can see it's Jim Aparo, who's great. It's got Aquaman fighting Black Manta, and they're going over Niagara Falls. Black Manta is also using his laser beams to smash like a rock outcropping, but I can't really, I mean, I guess you could destroy Niagara Falls, but he's not doing it there. So far, the count is, let me see, I think let me see. All right. It's three wins for the good guys, two for the villains, and one draw because they're just going over the wonderful. Now this is cool. There's a giant 2-page double spread here in the middle by Mike Grell. It's the Legion of Superheroes battling the Fatal Five. Now, if you're a Legion of Superhero fan, you may want to get this calendar, because if you are, it's probably worth it just for this, because this is neat. Here it is. Got the Statue of Liberty. I can't even get the whole thing in here. Let me step back so you can see the scale of this poster by Mike Grell. The Legion of Superhero battles the Fatal Five. So that's legit. That's neat. I wish Marvel had done that. This is one where DC's beat Marvel. Marvel didn't have anything like that in their calendars. And they are putting their best artists on these, I have to say. Okay. It's July, and we have Joe Kubert, speaking of DC's best artists, and it's Hawkman and Hawkgirl, or Hawkwoman, Hawkgirl, fighting the Gentleman Ghost in front of Big Ben. This is cool. I love the look of Gentleman Ghost. Hawkman and Hawkgirl have awesome looks as well. They're totally boring, and I couldn't give a crap, but they look really cool. And Joe Kubert's awesome. This is awesome. Now, it does not appear... It looks like they're actually fighting each other, and Gentleman Ghost is not attempting to do anything to Big Ben. We're going to give this one to the heroes. So the heroes are pulling ahead. They're winning 4-2 at this point with one draw. But totally cool. Let's take a guess who the other Hawkman villains are. I've got no idea who could be in Hawkman's rogue gallery. Mattermaster, Shadow Thief, I should have guessed that one. Shadow Thief, I should have known. Kazlak, and Lion Mane. Here's the cool one. Again, I feel like if you're fans of certain artists or certain characters, you'll want to get this, because this one's neat. It's Wally Wood doing the Justice Society of America, fighting Solomon Grundy in front of the Sphinx. That's cool. I mean, Wally Wood's cool. The Justice Society is cool, even though it was during this era where they were really trying to make the Star Spangled Kid happen. But it does have Dr. Midnight, who is awesome. Yeah. Dr. Fate looks cool. That's neat. That's cool. Now, let's take a look at the story here. The pyramids, burial ground of ancient Egyptian kings, are the site of a titanic struggle between the swamp spawn's terror, Solomon Grundy. Well, here's the question I'm having. Okay, we've got the pyramids on one side, a pyramid. We've also got the Sphinx, but we see Solomon Grundy holding up a huge thing over his head. Is that one of the other pyramids? I don't think he's that strong, but I'm just trying to figure out how to score this one. We're gonna put this in the draw category, because I think he may not be destroying one of the pyramids because that seems too big. But even if they stop him, he has destroyed some of the area. Other JSA villains: Brainwave, Psycho Pirate, Vandal Savage, and Degaton. I think you could probably have guessed that. All right, here we go. It's Irv Novick, and it's a cool Flash thing, and he's fighting Grodd in some kind of take on King Kong. That's pretty cool. I think this is just not long before Iris Allen died, I think. I'm at one point I had a lot of issues of Flash, a lot of Bronze Age Flash issues. Um, long time ago. I don't remember anything about them except I didn't really like them that much. Uh, so I don't remember Irv Novick being particularly. I don't remember, but I'm assuming he must have been the regular artist at this time because the people do seem to be doing the books that they're associated with. Uh, this one's got a bit of a twist. It's Neil Adams, and it's the Spectre and Deadman, and they're fighting one of the heads from Easter Island. It says there's an alien vessel that's animating the Easter Island heads. I don't know what that's about. Two characters that have about as different power levels as you could possibly get. Deadman and the Spectre. Now they are both thematically similar because they're both dead people. But Deadman's power is what? He can put his consciousness in someone else's dead body. Spectre's power is he's God. So I don't think a team up between the two of them makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Nothing about this makes any sense. And I have to say, it's not Neil Adams' best work here. Considering this is the 70s and it's Neil Adams, he's being outdone by Irv Novick. So, like, he should have stepped up his game. One thing that's interesting here is that instead of a rogues gallery, it actually shows chilling champions of and defenders of justice. So this is other sort of weird hero characters, and it's Swamp Thing, Phantom Stranger, Demon, and the Creeper. I wouldn't really lump him in with the rest of those, but what do I know? November brings us the Teen Titans, and they're in the Coliseum. By the way, heroes are losing the Easter Island battle because they're clear. It's the heroes themselves that are smashing the monuments. So we're 4 hero wins, 3 villain wins, 2 draws. 5, 3, and 2. The Coliseum seems to be fine, but this is Dick Dillon drawing the Teen Titans. Now, I thought Dick Dillon had died before this, but this is a 77 calendar, so it came out at the end of 76. But it actually looks quite good. This is this weird era of Teen Titans. Despite the fact that this looks like pretty good artwork, I'm pretty sure this is the period where, like, this is right when Jeanette Kahn came in as the new president of DC, and she canceled Teen Titans because when she read all the comics, she thought it was so bad that even though the sales were fine, she didn't want to keep publishing because she thought it sucked. So I haven't actually read any of those, but I'm not really a big Teen Titans fan. And here's their Rogues Gallery. This is, of course, before the new Teen Titans. You can see why they need a reboot. Mad Mod, at least I've heard of him. Calibano, Deliverer, and Vorna. I don't know. They all seem pretty stupid. And finally, I think I figured out. This is the one I couldn't figure out who it was because I didn't recognize the signature. But I know who it is. I think it's Kurt Schaffenberger doing Captain Marvel and the Marvel family. It's really good. It's really good. Here's another one where if you are a fan of Captain Marvel, you'll want to get this because this is really neat. It just looks really cool. Now, they appear to be at the Acropolis. Yeah, they're at the Acropolis. And Captain Marvel's been chained and he breaks free and smashes the Acropolis or part of it in the process. So this is another one where the heroes are losing the battle to save these monuments. So I think the final tally is 6 wins for the heroes, 4 for the villains, and 2 draws. That's not great. A lot of Earth's monuments just got wrecked. REKT. But really cool art from Kurt Schaffenberger. I have to say again, this calendar is actually a lot cooler than I remembered. I remembered it, and again, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the other one. The other calendar I remember not having very good art, but this is actually pretty good. The stuff that I'm a fan of from DC, and I love Bronze Age DC, but the stuff that I love from Bronze Age DC is the genre books. It's Jonah Hex, it's Warlord, it's Unknown Soldier, and the Losers, and all of the genre stuff. None of those characters are in here. We only get a brief mention of some of their other cool ones, like Phantom Stranger. So like all of their offbeat, oddball characters that I love from DC, none of them are in here. It's their superhero stuff, which is boring. I'm sorry, but across the board, Bronze Age DC superhero books are just not that great. So that's a bit of a disappointment. I would love to have an alternate version of this calendar where, instead of the Legion of Superheroes, we have Mike Grell doing a Warlord spread. That's what I want. But for what it is, there's some really cool art in here. So I'm glad I did this video because I rediscovered how cool this calendar actually is. Now, again, across the board, I think the Marvel calendars are better. But this one actually comes pretty close to the quality of some of the Marvel calendars. So that's not bad. I have no idea what the value of these are. I have a suspicion that the DC ones are not as expensive as the Marvel ones. But if you are a fan of DC superheroes, DC Bronze Age stuff, or some of those specific artists or pictures that I showed you, definitely recommend getting it because there's a lot of neat art in here. So that's it for this time. If I can ever get behind the desk, I'll get those other 2 calendars and finish out this whole thing with the calendars. But for now, let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next time.